now putting it together, Kapha will most thrive from the pungent, the bitter, and the astringent, as we already saw. So these are things, could be things like the quinoa, your citrus fruits, your salads, your beans, your cooked vegetables, sunflowers, pumpkin seeds, as where your Pitta person, actually, no, let me do a little bit more on this. What about oils? Which would be the types of oils that would be best for the Kapha person? So butter would be tough for Kapha because it's so heavy, right? But then the way that it's processed and turned into ghee, then that works well. And then mustard oil would work really well for the Kapha person too, because that's a heating oil. So when we talk about, again, taking care of our five senses through dinacharya practice, if the smell of mustard oil works okay with you, then that's a wonderful one to put in your body too, okay? Especially during the winter time when it's really cold. So going now into Pitta, you see here, as we saw from the last slide, combining the sweet, the bitter, and the astringent taste is a really good idea. So you have things like oatmeal, granola, toast, muesli, jam, soy, milk, juices, rice. So the Pitta can handle juices, yeah? And even though a raw diet is very rare, in Ayurveda, these would be the folks that could handle it, that could do well with it. Yeah, and they can also have salads. Yeah? They thrive on more of the bitter and the astringent. So the salads work really well for them. And in terms of oils, let's say, right, you have more of your cooling oils for the Pitta person. So it's the coconut, it's the sunflower, and you know, because their agni tends to be fast, they do okay with butter or ghee, or you know, if olive oil is wonderful. Let me see what else on the Pitta. Well, there's so much more, but not to overwhelm, just to get started, right? And then here for the Vata person, that should be just one tea, doubled up somehow. Sweet, sour, and salty. So you have your oatmeal, your mochi again, the muesli again. So your warm cooked breakfast, your grains, they will be so helpful, yeah? The bread is okay, especially if it's got some oil added to it. The oat milk is wonderful. Cooked root vegetables are great. Everything really with Vata is best cooked, right? Everything cooked and warmed. Rice and lentils are wonderful. And then you have your almond butters, right? You could have nuts for a Vata person, but then it would be ideal to soak them overnight first. Yeah, and if this person eats dairy, then your soft cheeses would be great. If they're not vegetarian, and they could have some seafood as well. So yeah, of course, a lot more. And then in terms of spices for the Vata person, salty spices, warming spices. For the Pitta person would be your cooling spices. Yeah, we talked about cumin, coriander. For the Vata person would be your heating spices. We talked about ginger and turmeric, and mustard seeds are also wonderful. We talked about mustard oil, right? So the Vata person I traveled a little bit on the spices. Yeah, I think that it was worth mentioning the spices since we talked quite a bit about last week. But the Vata person would do well with also coconut, but more during the summertime. Sesame is wonderful for Vatas, right? Because it's just so easily absorbed. So on the skin in particular is really good, but you can cook with it too. Almond oil is great for both Vata and Pitta. Yeah. So of course we can just spend hours and hours on what foods to have, but just to give a taste of where these different tastes are.